You know, nasty little fellows such as yourself always get their comeuppance.
They do?
Oh, yes. Always.
There's a cultural quirk in American football and other major sports that I think takes us very near to the heart of the Donald Trump situation. At the D1 college level, for example, the custom is for both head coaches and sometimes staff and players to individually attend a short press conference after the game, win or lose. Most of what is said at these press conferences falls into the category of coach speak, a babble fest of rehearsed phrases, aphorisms, platitudes, and cliches. For the losing coach, the shield coach speak provides is especially important. Multi-million-dollar contracts rise and fall both on the game itself and the off-the-field media relations bit. So if a reporter asks the losing team's coach, in so many words, why is your quarterback a walking embarrassment, or some other unpleasant question, the coach has a handful of ready-made answers to draw on. You've all heard them a million times. Well, we played a good football team out there today, a prepared football team. It was a team loss. We fought to the end. The players showed effort but came up short. I take full responsibility for what happened out there, and it's back to work this week in practice. The buck stops with me. The players prayed to Jesus, and he sided against us. Oh, hell, why am I telling you this? Here's Kirk Ferentz.
Obviously, today was a disappointing outcome for our players, coaches, fans. We had a great crowd out there. They're really into it. And, ultimately, we didn't play well enough. We didn't coach well enough. As we move forward right now, the biggest thing we have to do is try to eliminate the things that have been holding us back right now. It's a really fine line between winning and losing. Typically, a lot of our issues right now are things that we've got to try to get cleaned up a little bit. The biggest thing is just playing cleaner and more efficient. We've been focused on that. It didn't show up today. Clearly, after today's ball game, everything's up on the board. Everything's open again to discussion. But that's something for us as coaches. We're going to have to find something to get our guys on track. And, that's a coach's thing. That's also a player's thing. We all got to work together, and we will. We'll work together to get this fixed.
For a fan, the drone can be a little irritating. Sometimes in the game of football, the reason for the loss is, yes, a total team failure. Maybe even a team meltdown. At other times, it's the fault of one player making one ill-advised play at the wrong moment, and any jumping John in the stands knows exactly who to point the finger at, no matter what Coach Bubba says in the locker room. But the tradition is still an important one, even in something as cosmically trivial as a football organization. Coaches who want to keep coaching do not blame the players, especially individual players, in front of the cameras very often, even if the coach knows exactly which player is the problem. And there are good management-related reasons for this. It's been said that football is a tough game played by tough men. A head coach, a near supreme authority within a program filled with tough guys, must be seen publicly as taking accountability in the face of failure, not deflecting it to others to spare oneself a share of the criticism. Throw players or fellow coaches, quote, under the bus, to use another time-honored sports cliche, makes you look bad. It sends a signal down the chain that the head man thinks there may be an I in team after all. We have just surpassed the 2-month mark in Donald Trump's dumpster fire of an administration. What made me think of this particular institutional oddity was Trump passing the buck on the death of Ryan Owens, a SEAL from Illinois.
This was a mission that was started before I got here. This was something that was, just they wanted to do. They came to see me. They explained what they wanted to do, the generals, who are very respected. My generals are the most respected that we've had in many decades, I believe. And they lost Ryan.
Did you hear that? They lost Ryan, as in the generals. Not Trump. Oh, heavens no. Not Trump, who signed off on the mission, reportedly over dinner. Not Trump, without which the generals presumably lacked the authority to carry out the mission in the first place. Not Trump, the commander-in-chief, the guy who sought the office and had to know one of the work-related hazards of being president is daily making life-and-death decisions lesser mortals couldn't and wouldn't make. Not exactly Eisenhower, is he? It can't be said often enough. Trump fundamentally cannot and will not take responsibility for anything. Not his promises, his conduct, his missteps and exaggerations, lies, failures and misfortunes, both personal and political. There is always some external source that is the real root of the problem, the real story. Them, out there, the Democrats, who don't have a firm grip on any branch of government, the fake news media, that has committed the sin of reporting facts, real ones, not the alternative facts. Which is really the problem, isn't it? The root of the deep psychosis of Donald J. Trump. He simply can't mentally or emotionally deal with the truth. So he makes a new one. Then this week on Monday, we had the first House Intelligence Committee hearing. Buckle up, because they aren't the only committee in town, and the story just keeps getting worse. There sat James Comey, Captain Email, all stiff and calm in his suit, and there under oath in front of all the sober-looking congressmen and women he testified that the FBI is investigating Donald Trump's campaign and their potential collusion with the Russian government. The investigation goes back as far as July, and as of this recording, it is ongoing. God only knows what they found, or will find, or can leverage jail time on someone willing to throw Coach Trump under the bus in order to find. Comey said this on TV, the surest place Trump would find it. And how did Mr. Top of his class at Hogwarts react? What was his cutthroat business CEO mind formulating in the moment as the perfect countermaneuver? What stroke of genius was going to upend stiff-looking FBI Director Comey and his pouchy-eyed uniformed sidekick?
James Clapper and others stated there is no evidence POTUS colluded with Russia. The story is fake news, and everyone knows it. The Democrats made up and pushed the Russian story as an excuse for running a terrible campaign. Big advantage in Electoral College and lost. The real story that Congress, the FBI, and all others should be looking into is the leaking of classified information. Must find leaker now.
Mr. Art of the Deal's keen business mind, in other words, shat blood all over a crime scene. I don't know what's worse, that he deflected responsibility once again, as he has done for everything, apparently his entire life, or that he genuinely seems to believe that tweeting these things, tweeting them, while the hearing is literally still going on, is not going to be seen as an indicator of instability. Because that's what it is. No reasonable person would behave this way in this situation. The director of the fucking FBI is testifying in front of one of the most powerful committees in Congress, saying in so many words, "You're under investigation." And here you are, pecking away with your tiny fingers, blurting conspiracies about fake news into the ether as the FBI is confirming that the news was true and has always been true. Comey isn't sitting there in his best suit all stern and professional because of Democrats. What? Did the Democrats bitch about the Electoral College so much that James Comey actually took time out of his day fighting crime to come and settle it in front of the House Intelligence Committee? It's a little deranged. But is it surprising? We don't think so. This is what it looks like when someone who has never had to take responsibility for anything in his entire life is confronted with the full weight of the law and reality itself, maybe for the first time, and he doesn't know what to do. Any sane person seeing themselves the subject of an FBI investigation knows to do what every gangster in Goodfellas knew to do. Always keep your mouth shut. It would seem that Donald Trump, like all of us, is a prisoner of what he doesn't know. But unlike all of us, he's the president, the leader of the free world. His successes and failures are instantly global news and can have immediate global impact. That's an unfortunate place to be if you're not used to criticism and ownership, and it doesn't bode well for his longevity. If the United States were a major college football program in today's cutthroat, money-bloated game, Donald Trump would be lucky to get through a season before being on the receiving end of his favorite reality TV catchphrase.
You're fired.